All right. Well, I'm not going to be on that long, y'all. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Not going to be on that long. Not going to be on that long. Um, I found out 2 or 3 days ago that my cousin Kendall Smith had passed, and that was one of the things we were. I was shocked that he was basically found dead. Like, wait a minute. I'm asking the question as to how was he found dead as a homeless person when he was left a home by his grandmother. That was kind of heartbroken just to hear that. So the police told my cousin that they found him deceased, um, and that they were supposed to have a funeral, but the funeral, they had to, because he was smelling and all that, they had to hurry up and bury him. Which, of course, don't call me a conspiracy theorist. I was like, why do they have to hurry up and rush him to the ground? All right, that they're going to give him an autopsy or something. Like, what's going on? So, but rest in peace to my cousin Kendall Smith. He died at the age of 33 years old. Um, man, he lost his parents at a very young age. Man, that's why I was like, wow. So, but yeah, man. See, we got to basically understand that we're not here that long on earth. And if we as family members or any family members are conniving, we're not talking to each other, anything like that, man, we basically, the life is short. So, all that anger and frustration, you got to get it out now because you never know when a person is going to pass. And he was raised by my other cousin, Johnny. He was doing so good and great and stuff like that. I was like, wow. So to see him, passing, or hearing about him passing, man, it was just heartbreaking. But I wanted to talk about that. He was 33 years old, so he died on June 25th, I think it was. And they just now finding out 3 days later. Well, I was just not told 3 days later. So, but yeah, I've been dealing with that and other things as far as our project, Davion and Michaela is filming. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to continue this part two. This part two, let me bring my mic over here a little bit, man. So we want to continue this part two. And we're going to start y'all off because we're not going to be on it long. Damn, what's going on? And we're not taking phone calls as well tonight. So, and we're going to start y'all off with part two. Then today's topic, of course, is when a Karen loses her credibility of accusing a black man. Let's talk about it. Hold on.
This is Andrea Constand, the woman whose sexual assault complaint against Bill Cosby brought down the man once known as America's dad.
Finally, we can say women are believed, and not only on #MeToo, but in a court of law.
She's the only woman among more than 50 others whose case against Cosby has resulted in a conviction.
I feel like my faith in humanity is restored.
Constand and Cosby's story started more than 15 years ago in Philadelphia. She was 29 years old at the time and worked for the women's basketball team at Temple University. Cosby was the university's most famous alum and a trustee. They met at a basketball game in 2002. Constand grew up in Toronto, Canada. She was a star high school basketball player who had dreams of playing professionally. Over the next 2 years, the pair had a friendly relationship. In 2004, Constand says Cosby assaulted her at his Pennsylvania mansion after giving her 3 pills that left her frozen. He claims the sex was consensual. The pills, he later said, were Benadryl. Constand reported the attack to police a year later, but prosecutors decided not to charge Cosby at the time. She later filed a civil suit and got a settlement of over $3 million. Cosby's defense team used that to paint her as a scheming former lover.
Andrea Constand made up
these fantastical stories in order to get rich. A criminal investigation was reopened in 2015.
We're here because we want to seek the truth.
At this point, more than 50 women had come forward with similar accusations of sexual misconduct. Many of these cases happened outside the 12-year statute of limitations. So Constand became the lone accuser who brought criminal charges. The jury came to their decision in just 2 days.
We don't think Mr. Cosby's guilty of anything, and the fight is not over.
That's it. That was 3 years ago. That was 3 years ago. You see, and what's up with these Karens when they come from other countries? They come to try to make themselves a name for themselves in the United States, a country that my ancestors built. See, these Karens have a way of lying on black men. See, these Karens got a way of not only lying on us, but they have a way of extorting or trying to extort money, running back to white men and talk about a black man raped them. See, that has always been in the history of the white supremacist female. You see, this woman had no credible evidence that she was basically raped. See, you have to understand, none of these women was accusing Cosby of rape. Aggregated, what they call it, indecent assault, is what they call it. Aggravated, indecent assault. That's not no rape. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. So now what you have to understand is that since this constant lady lied, now you're going to have victims of real rape, women who have really been raped out here. Nobody's not going to believe them because of a woman like Andrea Constant. You understand? Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. This woman, as the publicist said, it was a money grab for her. See, she already settled. He settled with the $3.3 million. She was a failure in her country of Canada, claiming that she was about to be a pro basketball player. See, that's what some of these Karens do. These white supremacists, they leave their country where they're not nothing, just like the immigrants do, and they come over here and they try to undermine black people. And we have to look at this. How long are we going to continue to fall for this as black men? Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. But see, that was Andrea Constant 3 years ago. You had Gloria Allred out there, talking about, with that, plastic little hair she got. She's out there co-signing for these women who were lying. She knew who they were lying. Okay, they took a small claim of aggravated indecent assault and tried to basically make it appear as if they were raped. Understand? I'm not going to be here long, but I've got to stay strong. So look at how it is. The way that it is accusing somebody of rape is pretty much it's a serious accusation. But none of these women said Bill Cosby raped them. In fact, it almost appears as if they were consenting to the sex. So You had a zealous district attorney, like the Steele character, who filed charges when he knew that he shouldn't have filed charges. Okay. And knew that this was a lying woman, that she basically were paid off not to keep quiet, but just to get the hell out of there. She was a nuisance to Bill Cosby. And so now they're upset at Rashad, his on-camera wife, and she came out. Felicia Rashad came out and told the truth. No, so this is what we're talking about. This is the reason why you need the new voices of Black media. See, now here's another chick. Oh, hold on. This video ad is playing. Hold on. Like, share, subscribe, family. Hold on. Let's get the video ad.
How did you first hear that Bill Cosby was going to be released?
Oh, this morning when I got up and rolled out of bed, my friend.
It's Dickerson. Man, hold on.
Talk to me about your new podcast with Dustin. I feel like there are definitely a lot of...
Wait a minute. This is messing me up.
How did you first hear that Bill Cosby was going to be released?
Oh, this morning when I got up and rolled out of bed, my friend Stephen Lenahan, he gave me a telephone call, and he told me, he said, I have some bad news. And I was bracing for a hurricane or something, and he was like, Cosby's out of prison. And I was I felt like, first of all, really so angry. So angry. And second, I felt like I was kicked in the stomach in my abdomen by some psychic blow.
You say you felt like you were kicked in your stomach, but, they're saying this is a procedural issue, and that's why he was released. How do you feel about that?
I'm angry. I'm angry they let him out over a procedural. That's basically all I have to say. I can't get into the legalese about it. I can only speak from my heart and say that the statute of limitations is not fair. It's not. It's just not fair.
There are people who they're falling on both sides, but some people are rejoicing and saying he deserves. It's only fair that he gets out. What do you say to those people?
Oh, I say to those people, you have not been raped by them. I was raped by Bill Cosby, and I know that it changed my life forever. And that's why my heart goes out to all the women that started me to after I first came out on your show. I just think people are ignorant.
Now that woman just said that we're ignorant because we called out the fact that this woman lacked evidence, right? There was no police report that she really did, right? Statutes of limitation went out. I think she was called at a witness, but they had something going on with her where there was some credibility issues. That's the reason why her case did not go and proceed to trial. Only one woman's case proceeded to trial, which was Andrea Constant. See, these Karens are upset that their modeling and acting career failed, and Bill Cosby, being their quote-unquote mentor, is to blame for that. They're upset, and they're trying to find their way back into the spotlight for some. They're trying to basically find some way to make themselves relevant again. See, this is what we have to deal with as Black men. You see, not only is the system unjust, But we have to deal with lying women like this, Karens like these, this Dickerson, knowing that she basically been like this all her life. See, this is why we can't just stick our penises in anybody. You understand? Because they can then holler rape, 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 because it's a money grab for them. See, thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. She said that she was hurt when she got the phone call. And now all of a sudden, because they claim a so-called procedural issue, she said, "Oh, the system's unfair." She said, "Oh, man, that's just so crazy." And the people who basically said that he should have got out of jail, oh, they're so ignorant and stuff like that. See, every time a black man get justice, oh, now everything got to be ignorant. Understand? And here's the thing. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court did a 79-page opinion. And I'm used to of looking at these, reading these opinions. And most of them, like the ones in my case in Henderson versus U.S. Securities, they leave out a lot of factual jargon inside your case to undermine your case. We were not only celebrating because Bill Cosby got out, we were celebrating because this is the first time in a long time that we've seen a court system actually write a well-written opinion about releasing a black man from prison. That's why it really hit hard. A 79 documentation that laid down the facts of the case, laid down the procedural law of the case, showed what was going on, and revealed that basically the trial judge brought in one witness to try to basically, to collaborate or corroborate with what this Constant woman was saying. And when the first trial got hung, he then said, "Oh, that's not enough. We're going to allow 5 of you to testify." And then he was found guilty. The procedural aspect of that, as many of you know, is that you cannot, in the civil case, then decide that you're going to take the $3.3 million and promise not to prosecute in the criminal case. What is the problem with understanding that? Understand? These so-called 60 women who they claim came forward, none of them, besides this Constant woman, did a police report. What do they not understand? That you cannot agree to take money in the civil case and then turn around, go ahead and forward with the criminal case. I'm sorry, when you settled in the civil case and agreed not to prosecute. What is it about that y'all don't understand? What is it about that y'all don't get? How is that gut wrenching? How is that? How is that basically unjust, unheard of? She got paid. She became a millionaire overnight by getting $3.3 million from this man. And this is a woman who was not even from the United States that got the privilege to meet a black man in America. Where when she was in her home state of Canada, claiming that she was about to be a basketball superstar, That woman wasn't going nowhere. That's the reason why she ended up here. She was not going. Everybody hyping her up, and then she looked like a man. See, these Karens have a way of hanging out with these celebrities, but they like to get these ugly white women. They like to hang on to these black men who sometimes, not all, but a lot of times, well, not all times, but well, yeah, I can say a lot of times. They like to get these black men who basically just want to be around a white woman. So it's easy for them to manipulate him because he wants to sleep with a white girl. And when that Karen decided, oh, I can get money off of this Negro, she does so, you see. And she bring up all allegations. And just like the publicist said, this was a money grab for her. And all of the information that she was basically coming out and connecting with other women, she was the only one that got paid out. Okay, because she was the only one who had a police report that, and then it was in the statutes of limitations, but still yet she was barred from pursuing a criminal case. So none of them told the truth. And here's the thing. Here's the thing of the allegations. And get this. She basically, the attorney, the still dude, knew that he was not supposed to pursue the case at all. See, this still dude decided that he was going to look at the fine print in black and white, that I'm going to read this deposition. I'm not going to admit to rape, but I'm going to admit to what is called indecent, aggravated indecent assault. I'll admit of giving you a Benadryl, which is not a date rape drug, by the way, or what they call, what's that, Corlos or something like that. I forget what the name was. Corlos. I'll admit of giving you that medication, even if that's not even considered a date rape drug. Now, I'm admit all of this in the civil case because you're saying that you're not going to pursue criminal cases or charges against me. And knowing that I just gave you Benadryl or Corlol, then I got to look at that word, whatever it's saying. Which is not harm, by the way. I'm a still, though, use this against you so that you can be charged in a criminal case. Man, they were on some I'm white and I say so stuff. And the state Supreme Court said, nah, we can't basically do this. You know, that was a Fifth Amendment protection that he was going to invoke should he basically, in the deposition, suggest that it would have been used against him in a court of law. See, now he basically is at risk for self-incrimination. You see, so that woman really lied. She lied because Karens, they like to get around white men, and once they get around their own men, what happens is that they start saying, "This nigger, he touched me, he did this to me, he did that to me," and this woman, basically just look at her. When she was young, was like, okay, was this woman, you know, Bill Cosby was like, man, him and, like I said, him and Cuba Gooding Jr., they were looking at all these mediocre white females. And they were like, okay, come on over to the hotel. And one after one, they were like, he was like, okay, he showed up at a party. And they showed up to really get high. They showed up to get drunk. They showed up to get buzzed. Their agents send these actresses and these models to these apartments of their so-called mentors, and the same thing is happening, just like with Weinstein or whatever. But there was actually evidence of Weinstein, and a lot of the Weinstein charges and accusations were fresh. But with Bill Cosby, there was no evidence they had. This woman was the only one that they basically tried to use. But like I said, she basically was settled, in the civil case. You understand? So what we have to understand as black men, we got to be aware of what's going on here. Now, in a now this in these cases where the prosecution seek out these women that may have some type of interaction with you, and you may like, okay, well, I invite this woman over my house, and we didn't do anything, you know. I might have touched her on the breast or whatever, but that was nothing. She didn't file charges that day. In fact, she waited a year. So when the prosecution goes out and talk to these women, they're finding these women all out of the blue, and they're coming out the woodwork and saying, "Yeah, I had a relationship with Bill Cosby," and most of them was agreeing that it was a consensual situation. So when you say that 50 or 60 women accused him of what? What they're saying is, well, he gave me that pill. So he admitted of giving me that pill when I showed up at the party. And that pill, like I said, by the way, is not a date rape drug anyway. The ideal that the white media expending this whole concept is beyond me. It really is. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell when you get new live screens coming on. Now, I did a video essay, but I forgot to edit it so I can put it online. So I'm going to put that online for you tomorrow. But it talks about my case and the opinions that was written in Henderson versus U.S. Securities versus what the state Supreme Court in Pennsylvania written, where they laid out a 79-page that got right to the point. It was no legal, like I said, manipulation at all. It was not a way until which the courts decided that they were going to add in case law that was old and was outdated, that didn't even apply. This was real, concrete, in your face, point blank, let's get to the point, a opinion. That rarely happens for a black man that has been in jail, in prison. They rarely do that. But see, that shows you that they can do it. You understand? See, they show you by them writing that opinion about Bill Cosby, it shows you how they've been railroading black men in this whole situation, how their opinions basically could be so well written, like the one in his case at the state Supreme Court level, when the system worked for us, right? And then they have a lot of other black people who can't stand black folks who get justice, and they want to be like the white supremacists so bad. So they would come out and say, "How dare you? See, you got Tyrannosaurus Burke, and you got this Professor Crunk lady. See, these are your LGBT, your Me Too people who now is providing the narrative that, oh man, women are not being believed and blah 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 and all of this. So now the issue is that now men are going to have to now constantly ask, especially in the entertainment business, do you want to have sex? Do you want to continue to have sex? Do you want to continue to hold my hand? Do you want to do this? And the girl's going to keep on having to say yes, 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 yes. It's just ridiculous, But the thing is that this constant lady was a liar from the very beginning. She knew that she had basically, this was a money grab for her, like I said earlier. And what they were trying to do is they had Gloria Allred out there. Remember, she's an Emma Lamb's chasing attorney. People know that. Every time she shows up, you bet that these women don't have credibility. Every time. Because see, she'll look at the law and then she'll look at their accusations and all she have to say, well, it meets the burden of truth, right? Based upon what the girls are saying, or the women are saying. But it has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is hard when you ain't filed a police report that we can see. It is hard when you wait a year to file the charges. It is hard when you agree to settle for $3.3 million in a civil case and promise not to pursue any criminal charges. See, that's hard to believe you. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, family. The Lawyer Henderson podcast show is live here. I'm not going to be on that long, but I got to stay strong, you see. Now, here's the thing, because we're doing part two. We're doing part two of this particular case. And we have to understand, as black men, that the system is against us. So when we go and date these Karens or these Beckys or whatever, or we date these white women, or they're by certain types of black men who all of a sudden be able to decipher as to, wait a minute, some of these women who is now around me, they wasn't around me before. But see, we caught up into, oh man, all these chicks liking us. But yes, when you make millions of dollars, of course they're gonna like you. And this woman, this Andrea Constant woman, you know that she was a groupie. You know that she had nothing. She had a failed attempt at a basketball star, but the white media tried to say that she was going somewhere in her basketball career. Like I said earlier, baloney, bullcrap. This woman was a failure. She was ugly. She had nobody who really wanted her. White men did not want her. So she began to start joining the LGBT little propaganda, the Me Too type stuff. But the white media was very elated that they put a black man in jail. And they were showing how Bill Cosby jail cell was and stuff like that. They were really, really on this so much. And it was not really it was not really it was not really something that you should have done. Let's look at this here.
We are one day away from a pivotal hearing on the sexual assault allegations
against
Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. But this morning, a fixture in America's living rooms for nearly half a century is waking up in prison because of his sexual misconduct. A judge sentenced Bill Cosby to 3 to 10 years for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constant at his home nearly 15 years ago. More than 60 other women have also accused Cosby of sexually assaulting them.
The 81-year-old, once known as America's dad, will have to register as a sex offender for the remainder of his days. His spokesman called the trial racist and sexist and says Cosby will appeal.
Mr. Cosby's defense team is preparing a motion to address Mr. Steele's use of falsified evidence. Mr. Cosby clearly has been denied his right to a fair trial. These injustices must be corrected immediately.
Jerika Duncan spoke with one of the prosecutors in an interview you'll see first on CBS this morning. She's at the Montgomery County Courthouse in Norristown, Pennsylvania. Jerika, good morning.
Good morning. It's the big story here in Bill Cosby's hometown. A picture of him on one of the papers, his mugshot behind bars. You know, all of this started 33 months ago right here in Montgomery County. Criminal charges, 2 trials later. The result the district attorney's office was hoping for has been realized. Bill Cosby was taken away in handcuffs, leaving a courtroom yesterday. Only people by his side, his publicists and sheriff's deputies. We spoke to 2 women who testified at that second trial after the sentencing. Did you ever really believe that this day would come?
I can't say I believed. What I did is I hoped and I fought and I tried to do everything that was right to support him going to jail.
I just wanted to see him locked up because my chains are broken now. Now it's time to see him with someone.
In her victim impact statement, Andrea Constant said, "When the sexual assault happened, I was a young woman brimming with confidence. Bill Cosby took my beautiful, healthy young spirit and crushed it." Now, we got a chance to speak to the 35-year-old prosecutor, Kristen Fedden, who played a very instrumental role in this case. She was the one who actually went to Toronto 3 years ago to interview Andrea Constant when the district attorney's office was considering reopening this case. Now, early on in the investigation, Fedden pressed the DA's office to charge Cosby, and if not for her, the DA said his team would not have gotten the conviction. As a young lawyer, and to be now connected to this historic case for the rest of your life, what was that like to hear the district attorney give you the credit?
It was very touching. It meant a lot to me because I have 2 young boys. I have a wonderful husband. I have a wonderful family, but I put in a lot of sacrifice as well for this case. And with all of my sex cases, I don't recommend charges lightly because I understand the stigma that can attach when someone is charged with a crime as serious as sexual assault.
Do you think it means even more because in 2015, when Cosby was charged, there was no Me Too movement?
Sure. I think that the Me Too movement is a very powerful movement because when you have a victim of crime.
Okay.
And
Enough of
I think it's important to just go back to victims of crime. They're humiliated.
Okay, enough of that. Enough of that one. Now, see, that's their little celebration 3 years ago. Their little celebration of, okay, well, he basically, while he was in jail for the 3 years, he was going to be able to be paroled if he admitted to wrongdoing. He said no. So he hung strong in there at 80 years old. I am not going to say I am guilty of something I didn't do. And you look at the, listen to the publicist, where he said that the district attorney fabricated, this is prosecutorial misconduct. That was very important to point out too. But look at this woman that you just listened to with Jerika Duncan, how this lady, the lady that she entered, how you say this lady's name? Jerika Duncan interviewed just a while ago that I'll let you see. The district attorney gave her credit. Why she gave this black woman credit? He gave this black woman credit because he knew that this was going to be a failed case if Bill Cosby appealed. So that when the appeal process, now she basically is going to be the tool that is going to basically be disgraced and looked upon as being foolish, because they know that if this woman is a real true prosecutor, she could have looked at this and say, no, we can't prosecute him. But she was listening to White Daddy, and White Daddy say, well, we can prosecute it. And now she's interviewing with CBS News saying, I was a part of something historic, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you now know. You're now knowing that you basically was a part of a malicious prosecution of a man who was innocent, and you now know that you engage in prosecutorial misconduct. So, Miss Lady, what do you have to say about that? Okay. See, this whole Me Too movement is destroying women. The Black feminist movement is destroying Black women for really having healthy relationships. Like, share, and subscribe. But this has been the second part of the Bill Cosby thing. So we have to, like I said, we have to watch out for these Karens. These Karens are always trying, when they smell money, when they can't get a white man, of course, that they could basically get, they'll always come to Black men who got money, because that's their easier way to get some type of money, because they failed in their careers. And we as Black men have to understand that when we get millions and make millions of dollars, watch out for these groupies, watch out for these Karens, because Karens know how to become undercover Beckys, and what they'll do is that they will agree to, take a pill for themselves. They would do all this stuff just to make it appear as, oh, you raped me, or you did this to me, and before you know it, you're paying out $3 million to make this go away. Okay? And this concludes the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. And I want to thank you. Like, share, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to leave your comments. And basically, Screw2 have me under a shallow ban where they are not notifying people that I'm on. They basically send me like a community violation thing. So they've been really, really upset that the Black media has taken over the narrative. Nobody's listening to the old dead Black media. They're bootlicking Negroes and Sambo Negroes. Nobody listening to the white media. So they're upset. So they're really listening to what we have to say, so that they can basically destroy our news feed, that people basically is coming to us to get their news, And that's always been with the white supremacists. It's that I'm white and I say so, and Negro, no one wants to listen to y'all. They should be listening to us, the white media. But you all have stayed and maintained steadfast to be in the know as to basically when the Lawyer Henderson podcast show come on. Thank you for listening, and keep on liking the video, share, subscribe, tell your friends and family to like the Lawyer Henderson podcast show. I'm Lawyer Henderson. Thank you for listening.